Welcome back, Eagles fans. Today we got a lot to unpack, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss a second of it. First up, let's talk about Jordan Davis and the way he handled being overlooked for the Pro Bowl this season. Now, if you've been following closely, you know this has been a roller coaster year for Davis. He's had a share of injuries, missed time, and honestly, this hasn't been his strongest season statistically. But when it comes to impact on the field, consistency, and sheer dominance, he's still right up there among the best defensive tackles in the league. So when the Pro Bowl roster came out and his name wasn't there, it stirred up a lot of conversation. Fans, analysts, and even players started questioning how someone like Jalen Carter, who has been solid but not necessarily spectacular all year, was recognized over Davis. What makes this situation interesting is how Davis responded. Instead of venting, complaining, or letting it get to him publicly in a negative way, he took a step back and gave a response that was as mature as it was insightful. He acknowledged that it stings to be overlooked, that every athlete wants that kind of recognition, but he also emphasized the bigger picture. He talked about the countless hours he spends in the gym, the extra work after practice, and the dedication that goes into honing his craft. His message was clear. He's in it for improvement, for becoming the best version of himself, and ultimately for the team, not just for accolades. He reflected on his own initial disappointment, admitted the selfishness in wanting to be recognized, and then shifted his focus back to what truly matters: winning and contributing to the Eagles' success. It's really refreshing to see a player of his caliber handle a situation like this with such perspective. Too often, professional sports can get wrapped up in popularity contests, votes, and recognition, sometimes overshadowing actual performance. And that's exactly the issue with the Pro Bowl system as it currently stands. It's become more of a fan popularity vote than a true measure of who is performing at the highest level. Players like Jordan Davis, who consistently disrupt the offensive line, command attention in every game, and make an enormous difference on defense, don't always get the acknowledgement they deserve because the system favors visibility over substance. It's part of the reason why many analysts and players alike place more value on All-Pro selections than the Pro Bowl. The All-Pro honors, after all, tend to recognize excellence over popularity, giving credit where it's truly due. Even so, Davis isn't letting it shake him. He's focused, motivated, and continuing to put in the work that elevates his game week after week. For a young player in the league, this mindset is invaluable. It's about stacking days, building years of performance, and eventually recognition will come naturally. He's setting a standard for himself and for others on the team, showing that commitment and consistency trump temporary disappointments. It's a lesson in professionalism, leadership, and understanding what matters most in the long run. Switching gears a little, we've also got to talk about Jalen Hurts and the momentum he's building with this Eagles squad. Winning the NFC East this season was huge, especially considering how long it had been since the team achieved back-to-back divisional titles. Watching him in interviews and hearing his approach to success shows just how focused and driven he is. He doesn't just celebrate victories for the sake of it. He acknowledges the achievements, but immediately shifts focus to the next goal. That's the mentality of a champion, recognizing the present success while keeping an eye on the future, constantly pushing for more. Hurts has this knack for motivating his teammates, keeping them hungry, and ensuring the team's culture remains rooted in winning. It's clear that under his leadership, the Eagles are not just playing to make the playoffs. They're aiming to dominate each step of the way, from division titles to the ultimate prize in the Super Bowl. What's fascinating is how these individual stories of perseverance and focus intersect with the broader team dynamics. Seeing players like Jordan Davis internalize setbacks and turn them into motivation complements the leadership of guys like Jalen Hurts. It creates an environment where talent is nurtured, where the spotlight isn't just about individual recognition, but about contributing to the collective goal. Every practice, every extra hour in the gym, every film session, it all adds up to a team culture where effort and preparation are respected and rewarded. This is exactly the kind of foundation that builds championship-caliber teams, and it's why Eagles fans have every reason to be excited about what's ahead. And speaking of team dynamics, let's touch on the injury report because that's always a key factor in how the team executes on game day. Even though the official report hadn't been released at the start of the week, there were updates indicating that Jalen Carter was back at practice, while Nico Dean and Landon Dickerson weren't participating. Lane Johnson remains unavailable, which is something the coaching staff has to navigate carefully. Having Carter back is significant because it boosts depth on the defensive line, giving the Eagles more flexibility and allowing them to rotate effectively against tough opponents. It also sends a message about resilience. Injuries happen, but the team adapts, and players push themselves to be ready when it counts. The preparation extends beyond the physical. It's about mental readiness, understanding schemes, and staying sharp even during periods of downtime. This level of dedication is part of what sets the Eagles apart as a disciplined, well-prepared unit ready to face the toughest challenges. Now, circling back to Jordan Davis, what stands out in his comments is his emphasis on incremental improvement. He talks about noticing changes in his body, his awareness, his readiness on the field, all from putting in extra time. That kind of attention to detail is what separates good players from great ones. Every rep, every drill, every film session is a chance to refine skills and gain an edge. For young athletes watching this, it's a masterclass in professionalism. Even when recognition isn't immediate or when accolades seem unfairly distributed, the work continues because the process is what ultimately defines success. This mindset, putting in the work, staying disciplined, and focusing on contribution over recognition, resonates across the team. It's mirrored in the leadership of Jalen Hurts, in the dedication of the defensive line, and in the preparation of every player who steps onto the field. The Eagles aren't just a collection of talented athletes. They're a cohesive unit driven by shared goals, mutual respect, and relentless effort. Every practice, every film study session, every extra hour spent in the gym is a brick in the foundation of a team built to compete at the highest level. It's no wonder that this team is generating so much buzz and excitement among fans and analysts alike. Even with the distraction of awards, accolades, and media attention, the focus remains on execution. Jordan Davis shows us that a true professional keeps perspective, channels frustration into motivation, and never loses sight of the team's mission. Jalen Hurts demonstrates that celebrating victories doesn't mean resting on your laurels. It means preparing for the next challenge with even greater intensity. Together, these elements create an environment where excellence is not just expected, it's cultivated. Now, moving forward, let's talk about how all of this sets the stage for the upcoming games. The Eagles are entering a critical stretch of the season, and every decision made on the practice field, every lineup adjustment, and every minute of preparation counts. One of the most intriguing aspects right now is how the coaching staff manages player workload, especially with key contributors like Jalen Carter returning from injury. Balancing the desire to keep starters fresh while also ensuring the team maintains its rhythm is a delicate act. The defense, which has been a cornerstone of the Eagles' identity this season, relies heavily on rotations to maintain energy and intensity, especially against high-powered offenses. With Carter back, they gain more depth on the line, which allows for strategic substitutions, keeps opponents off balance, and preserves the stamina of the front seven. It's not just about having talented players on the field. It's about having a system that maximizes each player's impact. Speaking of impact, Jordan Davis continues to set the tone for the defensive unit. What's remarkable is how his approach embodies leadership without needing a title. He leads through performance, through work ethic, and through mindset. Younger players on the team, and even veterans, are observing the way he prepares, recovers, and adjusts from week to week. The defensive tackles often operate in the trenches, where the work is physical, dirty, and sometimes unnoticed. But Davis's influence extends beyond sacks or tackles. He commands attention from blockers, shifts offensive schemes, and frees up teammates to make plays. That kind of presence doesn't always show up on stat sheets, which is why his omission from the Pro Bowl sparked debate, but it also highlights the intangible qualities that make a team successful. Players like Davis remind fans and teammates alike that football isn't just about individual glory. It's about elevating the unit as a whole. On the offensive side, Jalen Hurts continues to demonstrate why he is one of the most dynamic leaders in the league. His response to winning the NFC East was a mix of celebration and focus, a rare balance that shows maturity beyond his years. While it's natural to enjoy the moment, Hurts immediately shifted attention to the bigger picture: championships. That mentality resonates throughout the locker room. His teammates see that winning a division title is important, but it's just one step toward the ultimate goal. Hurts emphasizes that staying hungry, staying disciplined, and maintaining perspective is crucial for sustained success. That culture is infectious. Players begin to adopt the same mindset, understanding that temporary accolades are gratifying, but building a legacy requires continuous effort and a focus on collective achievement. The coaching staff has been very deliberate in cultivating this environment. Practices are structured not just around drills and schemes, but around mindset and preparedness. Players are encouraged to push themselves, to anticipate challenges, and to prepare for every scenario on game day. With a relatively healthy roster, they can run more complex packages, rotate players strategically, and implement game plans that exploit opponent weaknesses. It's a combination of talent, preparation, and adaptability that makes the Eagles such a formidable team. Injuries, while always a concern, are managed in a way that prevents burnout while maintaining competitive edge. That balance is crucial as the season intensifies and stakes continue to rise. Now, looking at specific matchups, the upcoming game against Buffalo is shaping up to be a defining moment. Buffalo has consistently been a tough opponent, known for their physicality and discipline on both sides of the ball. This matchup will test the Eagles' defensive schemes, offensive execution, and in-game adjustments. Coaches have emphasized the importance of utilizing the depth on the roster effectively, particularly with players returning from injury. Carter's presence on the line provides more flexibility, allowing the Eagles to rotate players, maintain pressure, and limit exposure to fatigue or re-injury. Similarly, the offensive line's health and consistency will be pivotal in giving Hurts the time he needs to operate, execute reads, and make critical decisions under pressure. It's these matchups in the trenches that often determine the outcome of big games, and the Eagles are prepared to meet the challenge head-on. Off the field, the team's preparation extends beyond physical conditioning. Mental readiness, studying film, and understanding opponent tendencies are all part of the daily grind. Players are encouraged to learn from mistakes, adjust quickly, and maintain a professional approach regardless of external distractions. The coaching staff reinforces that focus and discipline are as important as raw talent. For someone like Jordan Davis, who has been overlooked in award discussions, this mindset reinforces his personal philosophy: work quietly, let results speak, and continue to elevate your team. This alignment between individual motivation and team objectives is what makes the Eagles a unit capable of sustained success. Another aspect that cannot be overlooked is the balance between offense and defense. The Eagles have done a remarkable job integrating their two units so that they complement each other. The offense is explosive, with Hurts leading a multifaceted attack that can strike both through the air and on the ground. This keeps defenses guessing and creates opportunities for playmakers to shine. On the defensive side, players like Davis, Phillips, and Carter disrupt opponents' rhythm, create turnovers, and apply pressure that leads to game-changing moments. The synergy between these units, reinforced through meticulous practice and preparation, ensures that when the team steps onto the field, they operate as a cohesive force rather than isolated talents. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Philadelphia Eagles are reportedly preparing to make a move that could send shockwaves through the league. Sources close to the team suggest that management has decided it is time to part ways with one of their players, a decision that insiders say has been brewing for weeks behind closed doors. While official announcements are yet to be made, the timing appears almost too perfect for the Eagles, who may see this as a strategic shakeup to reinvigorate their roster. Whispers around the NFL suggest that the player in question, whose contributions have been a topic of debate among fans and analysts alike, may be on the verge of receiving an unexpected release notice. The speculation has sparked intense discussion across social media, with supporters weighing in on what this could mean for the team's dynamics and their performance moving forward. Many point to recent inconsistencies on the field, suggesting that this roster adjustment might be exactly what the Eagles need to regain momentum. Insiders emphasize that the decision isn't solely performance-based. Team chemistry, salary cap considerations, and long-term strategy are all believed to play a role. Some experts argue that this move could open opportunities for younger talent eager to prove themselves, while others question whether letting go of a familiar face might create temporary instability. The tension is palpable among the fan base, with theories running wild about which position could see the most impact and how the coaching staff plans to adapt in the aftermath. As speculation grows, league watchers are closely monitoring the Eagles' social media channels, hoping for clues or official confirmation. Meanwhile, analysts predict that if this move comes to fruition, it could trigger a ripple effect across the league as rival teams consider making complementary moves to capitalize on the situation. One thing is certain: the Eagles appear ready to shake things up, and fans will be watching closely to see how this gamble could reshape the team's trajectory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.